Okay, so this is our fourth soul sync up. So let's breathe into that. This is the fourth. So we'll sync up. There we go. And 4 is gather in the current clock codes. So as it's speaking to me now, it's sharing that this experience is going to be for us to gather some things. So thank you for showing up and sharing your beautiful soul's energies, you guys. Yeah, so let's just take a breath. Let's put our hands on our hearts. And then gently let's roll our eyes closed. And then let's just remember what is true. Inside this calm, quiet place is the truth of who we are. Ironically, I'm hearing sirens outside. So, you know, there's getting to be a lot of noise out there. So let's breathe into that. A lot of noise, a lot of distraction, energy. And if you can look behind me here, do you see the kite and then the reflection of the kite? Do you see it right there?
Yeah.
So let's just breathe into that, because all of a sudden it started talking to me and saying, I want to help. And do you see how the light shines between both of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you experience when you look at that, Trudy?
Well, obviously it's a mirror image, but also the light is always there. No matter what you see, the light is always there.
Yeah, because it's really in the dark. I mean, that whole place is really dark.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, hi, Sue, welcome. We're just connecting.
Nice.
Hi,
So,
Sue.
so we're just go ahead and take a couple deep connecting breaths with your high heart. And, you know, let's just open up the space to hold all the other sister souls that aren't able to physically be here, but we hold them energetically. They are holding their presence by their very nature of saying yes to this experience. Yeah, that. So what we were noticing, the kite started talking, Sue. Do you see it over here?
Yeah.
Do you see the holograph of it? You know, there's 2 of them, right? And the light is shining right through both from one to the other, but it is dark. You know, the one in front, this one, let's see if we can do this. There. We don't even have a green screen. This one is fully emerged, right? You can actually see the colors and it's radiating. It's forward, you know, but that other kite, let's see if I can do this. There we go. Behind it is still in the shadows. It has not yet emerged into the brilliance of itself. And I really feel like this is a metaphor for what we're experiencing with the external. So let's just kind of breathe into that. So Jennifer, what do you experience when you look at that? Do you have anything else you want to add?
Well, it's weird when you first asked the question, and you went to Trudy, in my mind, I heard rainbow, even though it doesn't look like a rainbow, but it feels like a rainbow.
It actually has a lot of rainbow colors in it. Yeah.
So it feels like a rainbow.
Okay. Yeah. And you know, rainbow, if you look at the code of it, right? That's what we do here. We like to look at the codes and become more conscious of our languaging and the words we use every day to get all those different layers. If you look at the reign, R-E-I-G-N, of the bow, the ribbon, right? It's actually a figure 8. That's what a bow is. Hang on a second. Somebody's having a problem getting in. So, yeah. Let me see here. Okay, share. Okay, just hang on one second, guys. We got one more one that wants to join us. So, Sue, why don't you go ahead? What do you experience when you see that?
I guess I'm seeing the bright versus the dull.
Okay.
That would be the visual. Yeah, the shadow of the brilliant one. We all have our shadow side, and we have our, I don't remember the word now for the other side, but you know, we all have both. So for me, I think it's maybe enhancing the brighter of the two. Working,
Yeah.
bringing that forth. We want that one to shine.
And they're both there simultaneously, right?
Right.
So even though sometimes one shows up, one's more prominent than the other, they're both always there. So let's look at this. Okay. Just give me a sec. Oh, the hot air balloon just went over my G and H key. So let's breathe into that. All righty then. Okay, so I'm just gonna. Okay. So I sent that off, so hopefully she can get in. Okay. Yeah. So, you know, they're both there simultaneously, even though sometimes one's more, you know, sometimes you glance at the shadow, right? And
Right.
when you're looking at the shadow, you're not noticing the bright, vivid one so much. And then vice versa. Sometimes you're looking at the bright, vivid one and you don't even recognize or realize that shadow still is there behind it. And I don't know, for some reason, this is really helping us to see what's occurring, not only within ourselves, but with a lot of people out there. So I want you to breathe into one of the things that has been occurring throughout this month of 2. And I believe I've spoken to almost all you guys. It's raise, right? 2 is raise, R-A-Z-E. And so it is about demolishing this any part of this illusion. And there's been all these different layers and ways that we have been raised this month, even if we haven't recognized it. So let's breathe into that. This is, if you want to look at this as a metaphor of the human and soul, the journey of the soul is front and center now. The human really has to recede behind the shadows of the soul. And first, what is paramount now is that the soul lead this journey, done or not. So just kind of breathe into that. And the kite here is just showing us so nicely. It's being so helpful here in the corner and showing
Well,
us that.
the other thing that's really obvious to me, Julie, is that it's a diamond shape, and it's also, you've got two triangles, one going up, one going down.
Yeah, so let's breathe into that. And what is the shape that was shared to focus on this month?
Triangle.
Triangles.
There it is, right?
Yep.
And so if you look at like one pointing up, one down, you know, they sit on top of each other, right?
Right.
But as the top one merges down more and the bottom one comes up, it becomes the six-pointed star.
Yep.
Or what we call the Merkaba, right?
Yep.
So that's really the merging of the light body, the energy that's working around the physical vehicle. If you want to really pay attention to your physicality, this is a time where the body has to come along. And one of the most important things you can do is just what we've been saying. It's chop wood, carry water. Things aren't going to change all that much. They just become a little different because you don't have to do it as consciously because it becomes more of a habit. But, you know, working through those core four, just ensuring that you are stating your truths. And we're talking your soul truths now. Everything has moved in this year of 2020 into the soul level. So let's breathe into that. Hi, Jen. It's kind of weird, her picture. I don't know if she's fully, there she is. Hey, welcome.
Thank you. I literally was squatting in my daughter's room because it was, yeah, it was full.
Shit, house full. So, well, we held space for you to come. Yes. So, what we were just saying is we were just kind of connecting. So just kind of center yourself a minute after you did all your particle work to get in. We're going to take a breath and just put your hand on the heart and just feel that peace of what is true. There you go. Nice. And then Jennifer, what is the kite started talking in the corner here? Do you see this? You see the two? So you got the vivid one and then the shadow.
Yeah, I do.
And we said this is kind of being a metaphor. It feels like it's speaking to us of what we're experiencing out there. You know, some people are going to be fully present in their soul. The first one, full of color, light, you know, anchored. And then a lot of people are still in that shadow part where they're in the dark, don't always remember knowing. And they're just having to clear out the shadows of illusion. So I'm going to invite each one of us to go around, and I want to hear from you guys. I want to just have you share whatever's on your soul's heart that you want to contribute to the energy of this co-experience, which, remember, we say a lot with our vibration of our speaking, and we don't know if you're sharing something that's gonna someone else in the group. That's why it's so significant too, when you can be here physically, because you get to add to that energy in a unique and special way. So with that being said, I guess Jennifer Miller, you get to speak first.
Well, I almost called you today from work because, this morning in talking about, shutting the door, and I was leaving my office and shut the door like I almost always shut my door, and it like was thundered across our floor, and I kind of paused and like turned around, and I was like, oh, okay, message received. And I was gonna call you like, holy crap. Yeah, so that's fresh in my mind, and hot off the press today was that I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of slamming of doors happening right now. So Jennifer just was here a little while ago, or a couple days ago, for a session. So she got a more fresh download with the slamming of the door, and literally it showed up in her office, apparently.
Literally showed up in my office. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Cool. So what have you noticed, like particularly since the awareness of what we talked about? Like what have you just spent, how have you experienced yourself differently, or kind of what's been going on around you?
I've noticed that the emotion, just from an emotional standpoint, things will hit me out of nowhere, but I can move through them quickly. Like, oof, I feel angry. But I also have noticed there are things that that really were not significant that just set me off. And we had talked about like the original anger. And so an incident that had occurred was there were dishes in the sink, and the dishwasher had been loaded, but the sink was still a debacle. And I was like, what the hell? Like, why could we, and kind of had a little, meltdown, like, people, put your dishes in the dishwasher. And I'm like, Julie, like, I was completely triggered. What was it? And, just having that understanding, or the knowing that that was the original, right? That was all the times. And
do you feel that
I did not express that, and just took care of it, right, myself, without holding people accountable.
So let's just pause what she just said, because that's really key here. That's what's happening, is all those times we said, oh, this doesn't matter, I'll just do it myself. But that emotional energy was still there. That's what's getting cleaned out. And by that original, anger, original worry, or whatever it is, it's soul deep. And so then this goes back to all the lifetimes that we didn't share our truth when we felt someone had whatevered with us, and basically by not holding other people responsible and accountable, a lot of times we gave away our power. And then we became martyrs and victims, and a lot of times we did it for the sake of peace. Right? Because we wanted, at least for me, I know, I wanted to avoid conflict. I just wanted a peaceful environment. And so then I would just take care of it. But then all this resentment would build up inside of me. And then I'd feel so angry that no one could ever see anything other than me, and I'm like, I'm not the only one in this house here, it's just not rocket science to take out a garbage can when it's full, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It just, so what Jennifer was sharing is really significant, I feel, because it's such a beautiful example of sometimes it doesn't have to be a big deal. It's like, well, wow, and then why did this trigger me so much?
Yeah.
But if you're to clear out and acknowledge all those times you just basically said, oh, I'll just deal with it, or so what, you know what I mean? That still has to come through and out.
It did.
So thanks for sharing. Yeah, it did. Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing, because it's a very, very helpful. Were you complete, or was there anything else?
No,
Okay.
that feels complete.
Awesome. Okay, Trudy, I guess you're up next.
Well, I a little bit like Jennifer in the sense that I've been paying attention to things just sort of coming up out of nowhere. You know, driving is always a good one for me, but also, you know, so it's an opportunity to continue to clear things. But also, we had that conversation today, and I've just been being with that soul anger from that time.
Mhm.
And wow, it's obviously really touched me. And I'm really ready to close the door on that one. Past
Yeah.
ready to close the door on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and what was being shared with Trudy earlier today is this, these soul emotions are different than our human. So let's kind of breathe into that. They have a different quality to them, let's say, because the human is more, yeah, but I mean, it can look like that for the soul too, but the soul really just wants that acknowledgement. It really requires to be seen and to be spoken. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
To be acknowledged. I feel like as soon as Jennifer said, wow, it's soul anger. Yeah,
Yeah.
original anger, you know, and just even putting that original in there. I'm sure it's code. Well, it is code, but I mean, it's like it starts clearing out and then immediately it can go fast. So it doesn't have to hang on and be a big deal either. It can be, I go back to, and I know it sounds so simple, is everything just wants a voice.
Yep.
It wants to be spoken. It wants to be acknowledged. It wants to be felt. And then it can leave. It's done its job. And then these parting of hairs, let's say, of even those subtleties of just a little bitty anger. So Mara came again tonight, and she was asking about potatoes. So I was at the store, and I bought these potatoes, and I was in Fresh Time, which I usually don't go to, but it's fresh in time, and I suppose it's code. Anyway, so I bought these potatoes, red potatoes, and usually I buy the little ones, you know, and cut them up and then just, you know, bake them with olive oil and seasoning and stuff, and they're really good. Well, I did this with the bigger ones, and then like we started to, we're like, they don't taste good. Well, I felt angry because here I put that work in, and then they didn't even taste good.
Yeah.
It's like in the past I would have said, well, I guess it's just because I used the wrong kind of potatoes, you know, but I wouldn't have maybe acknowledged, wow, I feel angry that didn't work out. And it was enough to just say that, and then boom, it's gone. So using those 4 in your everyday verbiage, if it's there, is really important, even in the slightest little instance. And at first it's enough to deal with the big stuff, but now we're at the point where, well, no, we have to acknowledge it all. And again, we're being called up to a higher level of remembering. So hopefully that was helpful somehow.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Was there anything else, Trudy, you wanted to share?
That's probably it for now.
Okay, good. All right, we're going to the other Jennifer.
Okay. The talk about emotion is reminding me that lately it seems like at first when you guys are talking about emotion, like I really haven't been feeling that much, but then I realized, no, I have, but it's when the emotions come up, I feel it and then it's gone, and then it's just gone. And so I can't, like, I think about, look, I haven't had emotion, but no, yesterday on the way to work, I heard a song and I was just sobbing. But then it was gone. So that's kind of cool. It's like a different experience of having the emotions.
Yes.
If it's cleaner or something.
Yeah. And for you too, I feel like it doesn't have the grab and it doesn't take you down.
Yes, they used to really do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So good for you, because I feel like you've moved to this new place or a new relationship with them, or however you want to phrase it, where you can just, yeah, just, you know, ride through them,
Yeah.
ride them. So yeah, then it doesn't have to be this dark cloud following you.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good. And then as far as like, have you been traveling? Have you been anchoring any other places since we've last spoke?
No. But as we're sitting down here, I realize I have a pen in my hand from the hotel in Washington, D.C. So there's a link to when we were on, well, I think that was the last webinar I was part of. So,
Uh-huh.
and then in the mail today, I got a picture. So we visited our senator and they took this formal picture with us and it arrived in the mail today. So
Oh,
it feels like a
wow.
connection with when we were here before on the webinar when I was in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, that was powerful. All that stuff that came
It
through with
was
that.
powerful. It was, there was a lot of energy there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, my friend Sandy, that's in the Villages, she snaps this picture of herself today wearing a Trump 2020 t-shirt.
Oh.
And she goes, "Do you think this will trigger anybody?" And then she goes, literally, she goes, "I'm going to wear," she goes, "I'm strong enough to wear this out and just ask some people, can I ask how come you're triggered by it?" And then she goes, "It's a good marketing tool that she's going to go, you're good. My friend Julie's coming in from Minnesota. You might want to have a session with her." She goes, "How would you like to live trigger free?"
Awesome.
I go, "Wow, Sandy, we might be onto something here."
Awesome.
That's a good one.
Isn't it? I thought that was pretty cute. So anyway, but thank you, Jennifer, for sharing.
You're welcome.
So for me, I think, I had lunch yesterday with a friend that she was a teacher, co-teacher friend, and she's recently retired, and we haven't seen each other for quite a while. And one of the things that came up in our conversation was that she had mentioned feeling lonely. And, we had a lot of conversation in the retreat about loneliness, again, identified as a main emotion for the month of February. And so we had conversation about that and, how that looked for both of us, actually. We both live alone. She's had a son live with her for a bit here. But I said, being alone, I've gone through it all, I feel like, and I continue to have glimmers of, maybe still feeling like, oh, it'd be nice to have someone, now, but at the same time, noting that it's nice to have my time and to have that freedom to explore what it is that I'm doing without interference, without interruption, with, some of the things you do have when you have a family and, other things. So I find that the lonely, though, is one that I just kind of entertain that every so often and what that feels like. And again, allowing it to come and to go, however that appears to be, it's, yeah.
Well, and with your career, being around so many people, and then having a family, being around so many people, a lot of times we stayed busy with people. Exactly. that we didn't really notice we were feeling lonely, even though there was people around us.
Exactly. That's so true.
And so it's this fine tuning of feeling, noticing that subtle energy of lonely, and when it creeps in and giving it a voice and acknowledgement. Right. So, I was, Oh yeah, I was in Florida. Well, go figure. But I said something about lonely. Just and we were in a group of people, and this guy looked at me and goes, "Pfft, everybody in the state of Florida is lonely." I just kind of went, "Wow, you're in the Sunshine State."
Right.
But you know that it is like an epidemic.
Well, and I with the very minimal time that I turn on my TV, I had happened to catch the news, and they had just done a survey. How this, came about, I don't know, but they were saying that 3 out of 5 people in this particular survey said they were lonely. So it appears that it is a theme, or a condition, what have you, that is, yeah, prevalent. And they didn't specify, but it came into the awareness that this is out there.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and what are people looking for, to satisfy that? It has to come from within. I mean, we really have to be happy with who we are, and you know where we are at any given time, whether it's by ourselves, with other people, and finding the most of that part of us that fulfills us.
Right, right. Well, and I had an interesting experience today. I was guided. I've told most of you guys about this DACA detox that I found I don't know, I've kind of been following them since the fall. I'm just like, oh, there you are. Basically his soul is so yay. And he's so speaking out for truth when it comes to health and wellness in a way no one else is. And he's put it together in a most amazing way. He's from British Columbia, Canada, and he has a center there where people can come and stay to get well. Also, he has something called this wolf technique. Have you ever heard of that, Trudy? To break up scar
No, I
tissue?
haven't.
He created this way that you could manipulate, to break up the fascia and the scar tissue, because he's saying scar tissue is the cause of all disease. And I'm like, oh my God, finally somebody else is talking about it. Because that's been my thing, is what's the biggest disruptor in the body of energy is scar tissue. And so I mean, checking in with his products are just energetically, they're wow. And just the whole of it. And he talks about you have to do your emotions. And he goes, bottom line, most people don't love themselves, and he's very frank. And some people just probably don't like that frankness, but he's got this huge heart behind all that. And he's really he started cranking out the videos last November and just putting out tons of information for free. He built a library. It's called DACAdetox.com. You might want to go in there. He's got a library. It costs him probably $300,000 to put that library together. And he put it all up there for free. All the information, everything you can download, listen to audio, everything's free. He's just really, to me, in my opinion, doing some really amazing things. So I had called today because he has a product called SAC Calcium, SAC, and it just was, I just feel it. Again, it's one of those things. I don't know if it's just for myself or it's for other people. I don't know. Anyway, but you can't order it online because the FDA won't let it. Can't be sold on the internet. So you have to call directly to order it. So I had called and I got this lovely lady, and she said, well, which kind? And I said, oh, I didn't know there was different kinds. And so there's like 4 different kinds. And I said, well, can you share with me what the difference is? And she goes, well, just a minute. Let me because I was just kind of saying, I work energetically, I work kind of in the healing, and I want to know this. I want to try it first, so I can refer other people to it, because I always have to try for me first. So I have an experience with something before I share it. So anyway, she's like, oh, and then I said, she goes, well, let me just see if what's his name, Dwayne or whatever his name is available. And all of a sudden he's on the phone.
Of course
Of course he is, right? Just
I'm just like, wow, how did I get here now? You know?
Right.
I mean, the guy, he's got appointments, he's on the internet. I mean, I'm just like laughing. And so all I said to him is I go, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And there was a silence. And I said, I recognized your soul when I saw it. And I said, oh my God, there he is. Thank you for being here and doing what you're doing. And he was just so humbled by it. He just goes, wow. He goes, you are welcome. You know, just this humility of souls. It was beautiful exchange. And so then I was just sharing about how I had bought a very expensive piece of equipment called the Accuscope and MyoPulse to help deal with scar tissue. And I said, this wasn't something I sought out to do, but you know, I kind of got it by default. I want to do the soul work. And so, but anyway, so we had a great conversation, and I feel like I'm going to arrange for a bunch of people that might want to go through his certification and bring somebody to Minneapolis to teach the technique, because what I like about it is that it's something that can be shared with everybody, and it's about empowerment, right? He's the only person I know that offers 100% satisfaction guarantee that you will get better. That's unheard of.
Right.
Julian, how do you spell? Is it DACA?
Oh, DOC.
DOCA?
DOC, just DOC, Doc of OF, Detox.
Oh, Doc of Detox.
I think it's Daryl Wolf is his name. Yeah, and look at Wolf, teacher, right?
Yeah.
No, and I've some people that are in some really critical situations health-wise. I'm sorry. I said, go there. You know, he does it all. He addresses the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, the physical, and teaches them how to you know, be kind and love themselves and you know, take care of their body again. So it's he's got an incredible list of videos. I mean, I can't even keep up with. At first, I would watch most of them, but now he cranks them out so fast I can't even keep track. So, but we had this great conversation, and the top calcium, and it's not really cheap. It is expensive. So I bought the big bottle, and I figured if people want to try it, people can kick in whatever. It was like $400 for this big bottle.
Oh.
But it does stuff as far as repairing and rejuvenating the body. This guy, one of their trainers had broke his jaw in a skiing accident. In 5 days, his jaw was healed. He took it every 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I mean? It's a wow. And there's some great videos about the inventor who helped, the scientist that helped create it, and how come this particular product and the way they put it together is so, there's nothing else like it on the planet. So, but the top bottle is called Mara Jim. Guess which one I had to buy.
Yep.
But he said that is the most potent. He said there's 4 other ones. Obviously, they're lesser than that. They don't cost as much, but he said it's going to take you twice as long to get there. You know, you will get there. You just have to take it longer, which means you have to buy more. You might as well buy the most. I mean, it's like, whatever. He was really cute. He goes, well, you know how people are with their resources and money, and he goes, you know, they'll be sick and tired, but they'll keep buying whatever that's making them sick and tired instead of putting it towards something that might be helping them. So I don't know, but I found that kind of interesting that we had that. Also, I was talking to him. It's just whatever. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about kind of what occurred this last week. So how many people felt big things happening this last week? Yeah, especially in the weekend. There has been these, Jennifer was speaking about the slamming of the door. There's been these huge doors closing for us. So kind of breathe into that. These doors are closing, and they decide when to slam. We don't. And the key is, as Mara was saying, that it was like as if they had never even been there. So something about it. It's not just a door close. It's as if it hadn't ever existed. And obviously, there's no way you can even remember where that door was now, because it's like I see this scene from maybe Harry Potter or something. It reminds me of, where all of a sudden there's a door and then there isn't, you know. But there was some large things that left, and I couldn't even tell you what they are. I just know that they're gone. And that's part of what's happening, is we may not know what has left, but we do know something's different. And one of the things I put in the forecast is to kind of just be with what's different. Mm-hmm. Looking at, well, how do I feel different today? How am I experiencing my world differently? And we're not talking different as in separation. We're talking different as in awareness. That it is the absence of something that creates it feeling energetically different. Mm-hmm. I know I woke up Monday morning and I go, whoa, I feel different. And I couldn't even really put a whole lot of verbiage on it, other than I feel like I was taken to a whole new level. And if I didn't really feel like I had any tolerance for the illusion, but I really don't know. I have nothing for it, you know, for anybody's illusion. Just not, because there's no soul, whatever. And we're all being called into that space, especially if you've been doing the work like we have. You have nothing for it. You know, somebody wants to blah, 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 blah. You're like, oh, well, deal. You just like, got nothing for you, honey. And it kind of goes back to the, what Mara and I used to say, God, you know, in the earlier days, we used to say, yeah, I kind of thought that I don't know, be more, feely, you know, I mean, she goes, as the farther we get along, the less I care. You actually care less. But the soul clarity that comes with that is just so immediate. I had this experience today, and I don't know if people have been visually seeing things yet or not, but it was kind of the whole of it. So I was guided to go to the car wash. And again, I actually was in my MDX, which sits outside. And I'm like, why do I have to wash my car? It's just going to sit outside and get dirty again. But they're like, wash the car. And you must just be willing. The only answer right now is yes. The only answer is yes. So, of course, I say yes. And I go in this car wash, and it's not one I usually frequent, but the whole of it was like a holographic experience for me. The way the things, and then I'm like, am I moving or is the sides moving? Do you feel this? Like, you know, that sensation. You probably have had that in a car wash before. Like, yeah. You're like, am I moving or is the things moving, right? And then in the door that was closed in front of me, it was kind of like, kind of see-through-y, but not really. There was this figurine of a person. And he was doing stuff, but there was another one too. And it was like, it was him. It was kind of like this, the double. It was him and then another version of him, like a shadow or something. But the way I was looking at it with the water and then it had these lights, like it went from blue to green to red. I mean, it was like this whole, I'm like, wow, when did car washes get so new age? You know what I mean? Like it was like I was in a Star Trek thing. I don't know. It was just, there was something about the lights, the way the lights were changing, the movement, the water, and then that it's almost like I experienced like, wow, there's the human, but there's the higher self. And does that human even realize how big they are? That's how I saw it. And so it was very, I don't know, it was a very cool experience. And in your ordinary, there is extraordinary now.
Mhm.
You know, in your ordinary, there's extraordinary. There's everything's different. But if you're looking for same, you can see same.
Mhm.
But if you start looking for different, you see the different. So what's here with that? Does anybody have an experience where they've kind of, I don't know if you want to call it things phase, or I don't know. It's there's just things that I don't feel like we experienced this stuff before. It is different.
So I was just curious about this, and then so my response to both kids was, "Oh, well, I think you just remembered,"
Uh-huh.
and wondered if it might be some sort of download. I kind of want them to try it, but I don't even remember what the conversation was on Sunday, and or what we were even talking about. But Dane said, "Yeah, I had the weirdest dream. Like, I was playing," he goes, "I can tell you the song. I don't recall what it was, but I was playing the song on the violin, and like I was really good, and I just knew how to play the violin." And so then Dean started asking questions like, "Well, was it really the fiddle or was it a bass?" He goes, "No, Dad, it was a violin, and I knew how to play it." And I said,
Wow.
"Huh? Well, maybe we should run the music go round and get one, because maybe you just remembered and you really do know how to play." And so as we were talking about that, then Olivia said, "That's crazy." She said, "I had a dream that I'm fluent in Japanese."
Oh,
So,
wow.
and both kids, and I was like, "Oh, do we have some downloading going on? What is happening here?" So anyway, I almost called you on Sunday about that.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. And what if our dream time and our awake time are getting closer together?
Yeah, I almost feel that. Like, yeah, for me
So,
personally.
yeah. And more and more, I just know, like if something's going to break or whatever, there's nothing I can do about it. And I just know it was going to. Like Sue and I had an experience where I was backing out, and I said, I just knew that was going to happen. I said, and I couldn't do anything about it, meaning it was to be.
Mhm.
It's an interesting experience, this surrendering and letting go and allowing what is to be. And the 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 letting go of even preferences. And if anything, that Laura and I really experienced over the weekend after playing this dragon video game for hours and hours and hours and hours and whatever, is that hands, no. And I know I've said that before. Hands, no. I don't have to. And these hands are out in front. They are directly connected into the soul. They have no access to thinking brain. So like we would be like, you have to merge like 3 at a time or whatever. And sometimes if you merge 5, you get there quicker because you get double up. You don't have to do a 3 and 3, which would be, you'd have to create 6 of something. But so we'd like, oh, we want to merge 5 at a time because then you're going to get there faster. And then Hammond just merge 3. And we're like, and then that happened enough where we said, oh my gosh, we can't have a preference. Hand doesn't care. Hand doesn't care. And so so we just started saying, we let go. If we merge 3, we'll be excited. If we merge 5, that is fine with us too. But really starting to look at even preferences, because anywhere you even have a preference, you're caught in the illusion. There's a whole new level. So I don't, all I know is we are heading in this week, this final week, right? The stretch of the week. And we're getting to the end of the month, which naturally means that it's going to be more because there's always this soul place that everybody's soul is to get to. But remember, within our own soul individual journey, there's this collective experience also. And based on what is happening with the collective, they are changing the game up. And that's what happened over the 22nd into the 23rd. So let's breathe, because they switched around the 3 and the 9. Okay, so 3 on the new clock. So let's go. Yeah, I'll have you guys write these down if you haven't had them. So 1 is power wash now in the new 4th layer of the clock. 2 is, we know that one. What is it, everybody?
Raised.
Everybody's got that one down, yay. And 3 was convert. It now, they switched them around with 9. So 3 is now 9, and 9 is amplify. So instead of walking the steps of power wash, raise, convert, and then get to simplify or gather. 4 is gather. So instead of going from power wash to raise to convert to gather, now it is goes right, power wash, raise, amplify, gather. To me, I experienced that as a pause before when it was convert. And now where there is no pause, it's just going to have amplification to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Can you feel how this is a bigger deal? And not only that, they literally, 9 is in the west position, 3 is in the east, right? If you look, compass it.
Mm-hmm.
So east, the direction has changed. East and west, right? But this is a new direction, and I feel that it's both KNEW and NEW. So this is something we haven't ever traveled. Yeah. So now when I do the forecast energetically, of course I'm putting this stuff in, but sometimes I don't put the physical words the way it comes in because it would scare people. But there's something that has occurred all month called, occasionally, that's called the Hammer Falls. And today was one of those days. And it is our last one. So we had one on the 1st, the 6th, the 13th, the 18th, the 20th, and now the 25th. So if you look at like the music that has been suggested, you know, I think we're alone now. There doesn't seem to be anyone around. Yeah. And then that going out in a blaze of glory. That one's not as popular, but if you looked at the lyrics of that one. So yeah, I mean, it's, yeah. And so like Mara and I were singing that all weekend. We were just going, I think we're alone now. Doesn't seem to be anyone around. But you know, the music can really, really help. And some of these, Sue and I had an experience this last week. We were guided to go to St. Peter on Thursday. And of course, I was just in Florida at St. Pete's Beach, right? So we did all that anchoring and energy work there. And then I go to St. Peter. And I knew I was doing something, I just didn't know what. And it's so nice. Sue's in this place of belonging now, and she doesn't really ask questions. She just goes with it. And so I said, I don't know. I just basically called her and said, I'm going to St. Peter. Do you want to come? And she's like, yeah. And then she goes, I haven't taken a shower yet. I said, well, we got to ride 9:30. I don't care. we got to go. And so, of course, we were riding that Amplify. Now I see it. Amplify, convert, culminate, right? 0 is culminate. So we go down and, you know, we're guided to go here. We go to this thrift shop, buy this CD. We go here, talk to these people, and we end up at this health bar. And we thought I thought I was taking her to this cool gift shop that I'd remembered that was there, but apparently it's not there anymore. This health bar is, and we start talking, and lovely man in there, and basically we're going down tomorrow. Is that tomorrow? Is it, what day is it? It's Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, not tomorrow, the next day. And we're gonna just demo the Avazian stuff because it's really hand in glove with what he's doing. So anyway, just like all this stuff just fell into place because we didn't know and we didn't care what we were doing. We just went. And so we're driving back after having all these amazing conversations and connections with people and finding our cool stuff that was meant to be to come with us. And then we're driving, I'm on 169. All of a sudden this bald eagle flies right in front of the car, like here, right in front of my windshield. And so we're like, oh my gosh, it's a bald eagle. And so eagle is about freedom, right? And not even a mile later, all of a sudden, a hawk did the same darn thing. And to me, it's just Hawk's vision. It's just confirmation. Like I felt like it was saying, you know, job well done, girls, that you guys listened and went and did, you know what I mean? And so then we had picked up these CDs, and Sue had this one called Inca Gold, Aztec Inca, right? So we start listening to the music. It was just like this beautiful calling in music, you know. And so we're listening, and all of a sudden, like song number 5 goes on. It's the flute they're playing, but it's to an Eagles song. It's to one of the Eagles songs. I'm like, oh my God, we just saw this eagle. This is on the Eagles song. I go, how does this work?
Yeah.
On an Inca CD. But see, it gets put together in a way you can't think. And that's the fun and the magic of the journey. And trust me, it's going to be more and more important to just find these nuggets of gold in the moment.
And there
And
were the street names too that we,
oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
yeah, we came
What were they?
uh, Eagle.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, we actually crossed. Yeah. Then we started in Prior Lake. We came to Eagle, the road Eagle, and then
Yeah.
Hawk was next. So the roads were even.
Roads
I
even
mean,
were marked that. It was.
I even forgot about that.
Yeah. That was interesting.
That was like a whole nother level for Sue. She's like, wow, I can see what the Eagle, wow, and then the CD
Well,
Eagles, and
the fact that when do you see a bald eagle? I mean, that's rare, right? That's so rare. Truly, and here it is flying right in front of the vehicle, just as beautiful as could be.
and they don't fly low like that.
No, and then I'm looking down. I didn't actually see the hawk.
The hawk.
You did. And Julie says, yeah, because I'm the one that has the vision. Julie, meaning
I had to hold the vision.
she has to hold the vision.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is how that went. I just find it fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's it's just like, I mean, to me, that just makes all the other stuff that you're asked to do,
Yeah.
it makes it feel easier. You get those nuggets of gold, and it is like finding gold nuggets in your day, when those things line up like that. So I just want to talk a little bit more about finishing out this week. So there is this body emphasis, and I kind of alluded to about taking your body, but you do want to take that detox, do some kind of, even if it's just drinking a tea that the last couple of days, there is something that the body's being asked to do to take this leap. Do you feel this? The leap into the next. So this is a leap year. So and it hasn't even talked about itself very much about what this leap means. But all I know is that it's going to be large. So the fact that we're in this leap year, there's something we're really going to be asked to leap to get to the next. Now, instead of March being convert, it's all going to be what now? Amplify. So we're marching to amplification instead of marching to conversion. Just gotta have fun. Good to know.
It'll be
But
interesting for sure.
Mara and I have a really fun cheer that we created at like 3 a.m. after a day, whatever, being up all night. She's like, Julie, what? And she's asking me about something. I go, oh, I don't know. All I got is my butt is square, my pants are tight. Because we've been asked to eat the craziest stuff. And so she gets up and goes, my butt is square, my pants are tight, my wallet is extremely light. Ooh, I'm ascending. Ooh, I'm ascending. She was making this cheer.
As you're saying that, all I can think of is SpongeBob.
Well, you know what? All I can think about is your background. It looks like a scene from SpongeBob.
Yeah. Yes.
So anyway, you gotta find that humor to laugh and to just roll with it, because we're here, we're all on the ride, we're saying yes. If I can sum up some key things is yes, like in the South they go, or like name it, yes ma'am. Yes ma'am. We just want to say yes ma'am. Yes. And sometimes it's just that willingness to the universe is coming in saying, are you willing? Basically, are we willing to let go of the illusion?
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to? And by saying yes, sometimes you don't even have to. it was like the universe says, well, just check and make sure you're willing. Make sure you're not attached. And so have that in your peripheral, because those yeses are what's going to make everything easier. Did you, when I put the forecast out, did you guys get what I was saying about the door experience, about standing up against the door? Was that pretty self-explanatory? Basically, it's really getting that feeling of, oh, wow, these doors are closed.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, just moving your body around and just going, wow, yeah, the door is closed. Is there any other questions, comments, anything else people want to bring forth here at this point?
So I have a question. With the ankle exercise, is that
Mhm.
still a good one to do, continue to do?
Yeah, the focus is on the ankles for the body part, and the ankles are your essence, by the
Okay.
way.
Okay.
It is essence. So by moving the ankles or massaging them or
Yeah.
working with ankles, you know, for me, my body likes to, when I wake up, I put, yeah, just because I can, hang on. I put my legs straight up in the air and I flex them and move them around. Do you see that?
No, I can't see.
Oh, you couldn't see? But
No.
if you flex them, like
You look like a
Michael.
rockette.
Okay.
Okay, SpongeBob. We could all have our own thing. But you just take them and then I like flex them and then I just kind of move them around like that. Yeah. It actually feels good. And then I saw some Facebook thing that's actually very helpful to your female parts by putting your legs up like that, apparently.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
So look at body know without knowing, or me
Mhm.
just allowing body to show me. So tuning into body, honoring what body wants, hands know. Notice if hand, like you just watch, if you start watching your hands, you'll be amazed at what they're showing you. I don't know. It's almost like they have a mind of their own. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It goes back to Lemurian times, it feels like to me, because if you take a look at the Hawaiian hula dancing, they are talking hand.
Totally. Yeah, I forgot.
So it's a form of communication. And like in Native American, you know, they did all that sign language, those hand signals all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, you know, maybe hands are next month. We'll see. But you want to just kind of work with your hands too. And just kind of I don't know, there's like a whole, I feel like part of this body coming online to more light is everything just like everything's just feels different.
Mhm.
So why don't we all just kind of go around and we'll kind of close up the circle here and share whatever's there.
Julie, can I ask you a question first?
Sure.
Would you mind finishing the clock?
Oh, thank you. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so we did 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Do you have 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so 5 is simplify. 6 is begin. Beginning. I think it's beginning. Is it beginnings or begin? Let me just look for sure. Make sure I'm accurate with that. That's where we're doing it here.
So
Do you have it, Sue?
yeah, I have beginning written
It
down.
is beginning. Okay. Yeah, that's what it is. Beginning. And then 7 calls itself fullness achieved, which we really don't have yet, really what that is. It feels really code. 8 calls itself bid me enter. BID me enter. And again, code. So 9 is now convert, right? It was amplified, now it's convert. 10 is quicken, and also quick in. 2 words. And then 11 is in portals. Quotation marks are portals. So it's called drive home. And so that would be like something wants to be driven home. Like you really get it. You got to drive home something. I'll tell you a quick little story. So we're having our whatever weekend, and I don't know, was it Saturday or Sunday? No, food, whatever that we've been at. I think it was Saturday. Anyway, all of a sudden I go, Mara said, oh, we're to get Shamrock Shakes. Because they're, those are limited times at McDonald's. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll go get some Shamrock Shakes. So I'm backing out of the driveway, and Andy's coming up. And I said, Andy, I'm going to get some Shamrock Shakes. You want? And he goes, oh, already had mine today. He so knows without knowing. And so he's doing code. So I go, you're going to the Golden Arches, right? That's McDonald's. It's all code. And so I go in there and I order my 2 Shamrock Shakes, and all of a sudden Mouse says, and a large French fry. And I'm just like, jeepers, okay, apparently a large French fry. And so he goes, lovely, lovely young man there. And all of a sudden he goes, okay, that'll be 11:11.
Wow.
Again, if I wouldn't have said yes, oh, I don't eat French fries, they're not good for you. Blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? Would have missed the code.
Right. That's awesome.
Yes is your favorite word.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't, and I go, boy, you can't make that up. He goes, no, you can't make that up. You could just tell he knew it was a big deal. So anyway, 12 is graciousness. Thirteen is another portal, so you can put quotation marks around it. It is hasten timing. And then it's 14 is elucidate, EL, UCIDATE. 15 is culminate. And 16 is find, FIND.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So now you can kind of have that to kind of play with your numbers and your letters and how you know it to be. Wow, I felt everybody just shift. Nice. I felt everybody kind of go, and you just kind of went up. So, okay. Well, why don't we go ahead and go around the circle and just have everybody just share whatever's there to add your beautiful soul's energy into the completion of the circle. Trudy, why don't you start?
I just feel really, really grateful for everybody.
Mm.
And that we're able to connect and that we're able to do whatever it is we do while we're on in these experiences. And it just feels like we're, I don't know, anchoring something really important, but also taking it to the next level and I don't know, more and more remembering.
Yeah. And remembering beyond words. It's so great.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And that was
Nice.
demonstrated by just experiencing you talking about the clock.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Trudy. And thank you for showing up. Jennifer Miller.
I guess the last thing that just resonated or I really felt when you were talking about your trip to St. Peter was just all these simple little magic things that have probably occurred previously that likely went unnoticed, right? And so just being awake and, like you said, in tune and saying yes. And so, whether it's the cardinal or the eagle or, Saturday night, us and two other couples went out and we pulled into the parking lot of this restaurant that has a very small lot. And what are the chances, and maybe can fit 20 cars. What are the chances that we're going to find 3 spots?
Right.
Boom, boom, boom. Like, just, being grateful for the, and in tune to the magic in the moment. So that's just, and like Trudy said, grateful for this, connection and just being in this space and not worrying about what you're preparing or how you show up. We just are.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so
Very
awesome to
grateful
be
for
here.
that.
Thank you. And thank you, Jennifer, for
Yeah.
showing up. And the other Jennifer.
Well, I'm also feeling huge gratitude. Everything feels different. I know, and different is something that's resonated with me from tonight, because in my journaling, I've been noticing and writing a lot about how I feel different. And it's hard to put into words, but I just feel more me.
Yes. Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, grateful. So grateful for you showing up too.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Sue.
Well, everything that everyone has said, I echo because it feels really, really nice. All of the connections, the magic in the moment. I was just being with this morning as I was sitting on my porch and just really paying attention to just the sounds, outside, even just the birds, which took me to looking up again, what does the raven mean? Because that one tends to show up. And it's just paying attention and, again, what is that? I don't, always remember. Sometimes maybe it doesn't matter. But part of me wants to, I know this fourth layer, all these new numbers and codes, I'd like to bring them into my awareness more as we move through the year and the days and how that affects what it is that we might feel or notice too. But this feels very different, this fourth layer. This is like a lot.
Yeah, there's a whole new quality to it.
Yeah.
Because it's again, it's going beyond thinking. It doesn't necessarily make sense, but it does make sense at the same time. So unless I'm sure as we move up, there's 7 layers here, it's going to get more and more code, as the clock moves. But Raven, by the way, is magic. That's the animal totem of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we salute the raven.
Right.
So, well, I just want to say thank you to everybody again. This is such an honor and a privilege for me to collaborate with all of you. And I remembered this time, you know, I look at all these years, I was just waiting and waiting. It's like, where are these people? And now we're all here. Yay. Heart hugs to everybody. And I am going to be leaving for Florida. I just booked my ticket today again, next Tuesday. And I'll be gone for 2 weeks again. So it's calling me. So I guess I go. And yeah, so we'll see what else is going to be revealed
Nice.
on this journey. So heart hugs to everybody. Love you.
Okay. Love you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.